Praise the Lord. This is a video by Joseph Okuchuku. He explained what happened in the Paris Olympics and the demonic symbolism behind it. So enjoy the video. God bless you.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so I was actually meaning to put out a video to the effect of the public show of shame at the Olympics opening in Paris, but unfortunately I have been traveling a lot, and I did make a promise to all my followers on some of my social media platforms that I would eventually make a video no matter how long it takes. And this is that video. And for starters, I want to lay the foundation for you for what we're about to unravel here. I want you to get an idea. I don't want to just throw things at you. I want to lay the foundation so you will know exactly why they did what they did and where it is all coming from. Now, I am on History Channel's website. You all know History Channel, right? Now, History Channel has a write-up here that is rightly titled The Olympic Games, and this is about the history of the Olympic Games. Very brief history, I'm going to read it for you. It says, the Olympic Games, which originated in ancient Greece as many as 3,000 years ago, were revived in the late 19th century and have become the world's preeminent sporting competition. From the 8th century BC to the 4th century AD, the Games were held every 4 years in Olympia, located in the western Peloponnese Peninsula in honor of the god Zeus. First of all, History Channel acknowledges the Olympic Games were held every 4 years in Olympia, every 4 years, as it is held today every 4 years. And guess what? Why were they holding it? To entertain people, to make people laugh and, have fun? No. In honor of a demonic, satanic god, Zeus. In honor of Zeus. History Channel, in your face. Olympic Games were held then in honor of the god Zeus. Held today still in honor of the god Zeus. A demonic god worshipped in ancient Greece, and I'll prove it to you today. Let's go to Britannica. I'll show you something else, okay? Britannica is yet another mainstream source, okay? So you don't say, oh, he's using all these right-wing, extremist, conservative sources. No, these are mainstream sources so that you know that the truth is always in your face. The problem is that we don't look hard enough to see them. Here's what Britannica says about Olympia. Olympia, ruined ancient sanctuary, home of the ancient Olympic Games, and former site of the massive statue of Zeus, which had been ranked as one of the 7 wonders of the world. Olympia, ruined ancient sanctuary, home of the ancient Olympic Games, and the former site of the massive statue of Zeus. History Channel told us clearly that the Olympic Games they held every 4 years then was in honor of Zeus. Britannica is telling us that this same place is the home of the ancient Olympic Games. That's where the name came from. Olympics, from Olympia. And it says that the same Olympia was the former site of a massive statue of the same Zeus god that History Channel told us the games were held in his honor. Corroborating everything that the History Channel has told us. Can you see that? Zeus is the god that owns the Olympic Games. He and all of his offspring. On that same page on Britannica, I'm going to read you something else that will bring you closer to the truth. The caption here is History and Excavations. And under here it says, the festival of Zeus, of which the Olympic Games were a part, was held there every 4 years from 776 BCE until the end of the 4th century CE, when the Roman Emperor Theodosius I abolished pagan festivals. Again, the festival of Zeus. He's telling you that the Olympic Games was a part of that festival of Zeus. And the festival of Zeus was a form of worship to Zeus. It means the festival of worship to Zeus. They said Olympic Games were part of it. And they held every 4 years, as they are held today every 4 years. And the only time they were abolished was when Theodosius I came and abolished pagan, in quote, pagan festivals, to show you that the festival of Zeus was a pagan festival and the Olympic Games were all part of that pagan festival. In other words, Olympic Games is a form of pagan worship to a satanic and pagan god. In black and white. Pure and simple, no more arguments. But if you want to argue, you can argue with the facts. This is what the whole world is now led to take part in, because they had rebranded it. They had given it a name to make it look cute. They called it a sporting event. It's been a part of worship to a demon all along. It's a form of pagan worship. So what these people have always done, if you watch most of my videos, especially the one I did about Christmas, you will see that everything they have done from those days is to rebrand all the satanic worships and give them different names to deceive those who don't do research, those who don't search the truth properly. And we are all taking part in pagan worship in plain sight without knowing it. I want to take you to something else that will explain to us a little bit more about Zeus, so that I can take you straight to what happened at the opening of the Olympic Games. Let's go to Wikipedia, yet another mainstream source. On Wikipedia here's what it says about Zeus. It says, Zeus, ancient Greek, is the sky and thunder god in ancient Greek religion and mythology, who rules as king of the gods on Mount Olympus. His name is cognate with the first syllable of his Roman equivalent, Jupiter. Now, let me take you down to where the stuff that happened at the opening came from. On the same page on Wikipedia, we read, Zeus was also infamous for his erotic escapades. These so-called erotic escapades resulted in many divine and heroic offspring, including Apollo, Artemis, Hermes, Persephone, Dionysus, underline Dionysus, keep your eyes on Dionysus, Perseus, Heracles, Helen of Troy, Minos, and Musis. Who is Dionysus? Dionysus, as you can see from here, is one of the children, illegitimate children, that this demonic god had born through his sexual erotic escapades. And remember, this is a very gigantic devil demon giving birth to little demons. So these ones are called gods. Okay, this big God, they call him the God of all the other gods. He gave birth to all these other smaller gods. And the one that they were actually channeling and depicting at the opening of the Olympics is Dionysus. Do you doubt it? Let me prove it to you right now. Follow me to CNN. There's a CNN publication here. The caption says, controversial blue man at Olympic ceremony says he's sorry. It says, CNN's Saskia Van Doorn speaks to French entertainer Philippe Catherine, who appeared as semi-naked Greek god Dionysus during the opening ceremony of the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. This is CNN. These are issues of strong spiritual implications. And we, the so-called spiritual people, are so unaware of what is going on. And look at them on mainstream media reporting, mentioning Dionysus. Many of you don't even know where Dionysus is coming from. Dionysus was begotten by Zeus. It is his father that owns the Olympic Games. That's why they had to channel him. Remember, Christians were angry that they brought about the whole Da Vinci painting of the Last Supper and all of that and used transgender people and all those weird people to represent it. But remember, the one that stood out to everyone was the man that was bearded, but then he was also a woman. So dancing like a lady. So he had everything, all the features of a woman. That was Dionysus. But why is it that the blue man who was depicting and channeling Dionysus was having both male and female features? Let's get back to our research materials. Now, who is Dionysus? He said Dionysus was the ancient Greek god of wine, winemaking, grape cultivation, fertility, ritual madness, theater, and religious ecstasy. Can you imagine? The god of ritual madness, which was what happened at the Olympic opening. Ritual, it was a ritual they were performing in honor of the god that owns Olympic Games, that has always owned Olympic Games. The pagan god that owned Olympic Games. It was ritual madness. They said this is the god of fertility, ritual madness, theater, and religious ecstasy. Everything that he represents was what you saw on that day. Now, let's get down to the real description of Dionysus. On this page here, it says, earlier images and descriptions of Dionysus depict him as a mature male, bearded and robed, holding a fennel staff tipped with a pine cone. However, in later images, the god is shown to be a beardless, sensuous, naked or semi-naked androgynous youth. Androgynous. He is described in literature as womanly or man-womanish. What you saw, that blue man, what was he? He was man-womanish. A man and a woman, androgynous at the same time. That is literally the god Dionysus, who was gotten through the sexual or erotic escapades of the god Zeus, the one they say is the god of all the gods, the owner of the Olympic Games, the one they still worship and dedicate Olympic Games to today. His son was channeled and you were getting angry. That's the God that is in charge of the transgender movement. And why did they decide to go public with him today at the Olympic Games? It is because they have been able to deceive the whole world for decades into believing that the Olympic Games was not a pagan worship to a pagan god, that it was just a sporting event. Remember what I always tell you people in my videos, they always want to make evil look good. They want to make it look cute so that it's acceptable to you. That's what they have done with the Olympic Games. Olympic Games have never, ever, ever been a sporting event. Olympic Games have always been a form of worship, a festival of Zeus to the pagan god Zeus. They brought it today, they came mainstream today because they have been able to entrench this lifestyle from the pit of hell in our society. Transgenderism now is in churches, is everywhere, it's all over the place. It's in schools. They even have transgender story times. They have drag story times for children. For children. People are taking puberty blockers today, kids, and they are turning them from what God made them to become something totally different. Transgender demon has taken over the whole of the West, all over Europe, all over the western part of the world. And so they say, wow, we've already conquered. Why are we still keeping this thing in the shadows? Let's come out in the open. So that was their coming out on a global stage. And you're angry. The people are worshiping their God. You go inside the churches and inside your little buildings to worship your own God, and they deceived you into joining them for decades to worship their own God. And now they came and they put it in your face that, hey, this is what you've been worshiping all along. And now you're angry. Why are you angry? They deceived you. It's not their fault that they're smarter than you. Why are you angry? That's my question today. That's why I make it. Why are you angry? Have you seen your Pope say anything about them? Have you seen Pope? The Pope hosted transgender women in the Vatican. They say Vatican just released a statement to say, oh, we are not happy with this and that, the Last Supper, blah, 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 blah. Why hasn't the Pope come out to say something? Because he himself hosts transgender women at the Vatican. I made a video about it. Did you not see it? Back in the days, the Vatican even sponsored a movie in which there was gay sex. I think it was a movie about the life of Elton John or something like that. Elton John, yeah, I think so. If you look, you'll see it. I also talked about it so many years ago. Dionysus, man, womanly, that's who they were channeling in front of the whole world. They have deceived you. They got you to celebrate Christmas. It's a total, complete pagan worship. Go and watch my video. I made it and I remade it again. You will see. They laugh at you. They laugh at us. God said, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. So every time they deceive you, they'll do stuff like this, put it in your face to shame you, to tell you, look how stupid you are. Look at all these religions from all over the world, different countries. They've been sending people from their countries to go and take part in a pagan worship. But if you tell them to walk into a pagan temple to worship, they will nearly chop off your head. But look how subtle they have brought them to come and worship a pagan god. And they've done it for so many decades. Look, go, you can do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Check, you'll see. Olympic Games has never been a sporting event. It has always been a pagan worship to a pagan god. You take part in it. That's why they carry the fire from hell to represent where they are coming from. The lifestyle from there is what they are promoting. That's what it is all about. That's why they were channeling that. The lifestyle is what they are channeling. The God that they were channeling is the God that is in charge of all this LGBTQ. And that's why they had to come out in the open. Stop getting angry. Put your own arts together. Put your arts together. And the only way you do it is through knowledge, is through research. Try to learn. Don't be married to dogma. Don't be married to tradition. Have an open mind and research the truth. The Bible says you will know the truth. And that truth that you know is what is going to set you free. Nothing else can set you free other than the truth that you know. And I hope and pray that after this video today, that you will go and do a proper soul searching and seek God in a different way, in a way that is different from the way you have been seeking him all along. And he says, anybody who seeks me will find me. But we're not seeking hard enough. Everything they throw at us, we take it. No research. Sometimes you even tell people, do some research. They feel insulted. They feel angry that you're telling them to research. They just want to sit down there and be spoon-fed. Nobody will spoon-feed you. When you want to sit down to be spoon-fed, you'll be fed things that are not nutritious. If you want to eat nutritious meal, go and fetch it yourself. Do your research and get the knowledge. That's the only way we can defeat these guys. Otherwise, what happened at the Olympic Games is just a child's play. Do you remember the one that I exposed about the bull, the Commonwealth Games? We haven't even recovered from that one. This one has happened now. They're going to keep doing that because they have come full circle right now in deceiving the world. So they are now coming out in the open. And they believe there's nothing you can do. But as far as I'm concerned, all I can do is to continue to know the truth and speak that truth without any fear or favor. God bless you. Don't forget to follow our channel and subscribe, and make sure you share this video as widely as you possibly can. I love you with all my heart, and I can't wait to keep you updated with so many other events unfolding. God bless you.